Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is a condensed version of today's episode of Undisputed, handpicked with the best segments and discussions. Skip, Shannon, let's go.
Giants lost to the Panthers yesterday, but the big story happened before the game. In an interview with ESPN, Odell Beckham Jr. criticized his team, his coach, and his quarterback. Then on the field yesterday, Odell had a big day with a touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley, but he also had a TD catch. But the Giants still lost, and they're now 1-4. After the game, Odell did not shy away from his earlier comments. You gotta hear this.
I don't regret anything that I said. If it took that for us to come together as a team like we did today, I could take that every single time. I kind of spoke to the team just to relay the message that sometimes stuff comes off the wrong way. Words can be portrayed in any kind of light. If it took that to get us going, I can take that. I'm trying to be a leader. This is a position that I've never been in. I'm trying to grow. I'm learning on the way, so I'm on the fly. But I'm proud of where we went today. We gave it all. We came against adversity, calls here and there, and we can never rely on the refs to win the game. But there was calls here and there that were questionable or this and that, and we kept fighting. We kept fighting, and that's all I could ask for.
Okay, Shannon, do you buy the explanation?
Hell no. This was all about Odell, Skip Bayless. This has always been about Odell. And I've been trying to say, you know what, he going to get his money. Odell's going to be a leader. We heard Antrell Rose. Odell can be one of the greatest leaders in Giants history.
He said that.
Well, he's not even close.
Well.
This is what he said in the interview. He says, I see other receivers out there getting the ball like they should, and if they don't, they say something about it.
Okay.
You know who he's talking about, Skip Bayless. Who is he talking about? The guy up in Pittsburgh. That's who he's talking about. See, this is not about the team. This is about Odell and Odell getting his numbers. He talking about, well, if it took this to bring the team together. You didn't bring no team together. They say that there's an old saying, Skip, that says it's okay to lie if it will spare someone great harm or danger.
Good thought.
If you ain't...
Grandfather.
No. I read that somewhere ago, but about 15, 20 years ago, and it stuck with me. Skip, if you're a leader, how does you being a leader, attacking another leader, show leadership?
Great question.
I'm like, Odell, are you for real? The great thing about a leader is knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. They ask him, is Eli the problem? He's not mobile. He can't escape. How about saying, you know what? We're all the problem. The New York Football Giants are losing, not just Eli. Well, do you want to be in New York? You should have said you didn't want to be in New York, or you didn't know if you wanted to be in New York before the Mari and the Tisches unloaded $60 million guaranteed dollars on your butt.
Yep.
But you didn't say that. Now, all of a sudden, you get in front of a microphone, and now you want to talk about, oh, this brought us together. This pushed you further apart. Odell, you just don't get it. And I thought you would by now. I think he might be, for all I know, I've only met him a handful of times in passing, Skip.
Yep.
He might be a great young man, but he does not get what it takes to be a leader. No. He does not understand that he plays a team sport. It can't always be about you, Odell. Every receiver thinks he should catch 10 balls for $150 and 2 tubs a week, Skip. But it doesn't work out like that.
Yep.
Odell, what did you think was going to happen? Do I think the Giants regret this deal? They probably regret it the day they gave it to him, but they were in a position, a predicament where they really had no choice.
Yep.
Because like you said, this is a star-driven league.
It is.
He is a star. But unlike a lot of stars, I think all stars are selfish. He just does the worst job of hiding it. It becomes painfully obvious. Every time he talks, it's about Odell. How can Odell get better? Not the team, because the worst thing that ever happened to him, Skip, is that he made that catch, they lost the game, and he still became a hero. He still became a superstar. Because then he realized, I don't need to win in order to be bigger than you. Normally it takes winning, and then as the team wins, have team success, I have success. But no, they lost, and they lost a bunch that year. But everybody was talking, Man, you see Odell? Odell might be the best receiver ever. Odell better than Jerry. Odell better than Randy Moss. He doesn't get it, Skip. It's always going to be about him. And I don't really know if he's conducive for winning championships. You might win a game or two there.
Yep.
And guess what, Skip? You saw Sterling Shepard on the sideline. Odell rubbing off on him.
He is.
he trying to
He's turning into little Odell. He is.
call him discount Odell.
Yep, he is discount Odell. Whew.
It's not a good look.
So, to your point, big picture. From what I know of Odell, and I don't know him personally, but from what I've heard, people who do know him, I think he's basically a good kid, seriously, who just doesn't get it and will never, ever get it. He's gone over the edge into social media madness, and he's lost. And I said the day after the Giants gave him $65 million guaranteed and made him the highest paid wide receiver in the game, it was a big mistake. And I stand by that because I'm going to say it one more time. It was only 5 months before he got his money that Paris video hit the internet, and in it, I don't know exactly what was going on.
Stop.
You know, I don't know what was going on. What did
say
you say?
anything.
No, she didn't say a word. But there was, dare I say, suspicious activity going on in that video.
What's suspicious about
good way
eating
to
pizza
put
with
it.
an IG model?
Well, let's just leave it at that. But we all know what looked like was going on there. So Odell went to training camp and he was on his best behavior. And everybody started talking about, wait a minute, Odell could become the leader of this football team. But obviously Odell wanted his money and he got his money. And all of a sudden, the New York Football Giants recreated the social media monster that is Odell Beckham Jr. and he turned on them and devoured them. Because you're right, when everything goes wrong and he's not getting his numbers, he has to deflect the blame. He has to point fingers at all the problems around him because it's not Odell's fault.
Right.
And to his credit, he's saying, well, heap more responsibility on me. I just want more balls. Well, he doesn't want more balls because he wants to win games. He just wants to star. He
Right.
just wants to live up to Antonio or whoever else. You know, he's just, you can't make a leader of a football team the diva receiver. It's like an oxymoron. They just don't go together. There's only one that I encountered, and I've told you this before. Your man, Michael Irvin, and my man, Michael Irvin, he was not a diva receiver. He was just a star receiver who became the leader of a football team that should have won 4 straight Super Bowls.
Yep.
Maybe 5 for that matter. But the point was they did win 3. And Michael Irvin was the driving force of those teams. Why? Because winning was everything to him. He was possessed. He was driven to win, not to star. He didn't care about his numbers. They were not a real passing football team, as you know. I told you. For Troy Aikman's career, he averaged under 200 yards passing per game, and Michael he was the playmaker. He made all the big 3rd and 9 catches, but he didn't he didn't do Terrell Owens. He didn't catch 20 passes a game, right?
Right.
So the point is, there was truth to a lot of things that Odell said, right? I mean, but what's the point?
Right.
Yeah.
If that's in team sports.
Yeah. What good does it do you? Well, he can argue last night, and we saw him after the game, because I will give him this. They did respond as a football team to whatever adversity. Am I going to give him credit for that response yesterday at Carolina? But they played well. They were in position, took a 63-yard field goal to give him an L.
Normally, this is what a leader would do. We're not playing well. I can do better too. It's not Eli, it's not the defense, it's the team. The Giants aren't playing well. And since I'm a member of the Giants, I bear responsibility. I bear some culpability in that. Instead of, Eli can't throw. Yeah, I love catching shallow crosses, but I want to catch the ball over the top.
Everybody else gets to.
I'm getting out, they're out scheming me. Basically taking a shot at Pat Sherman saying, look, he see what Adam Thielen's doing.
Yep.
Since the merger, no receivers start the season with 5 straight 100-yard games.
Nope.
He see that. He see Julio complain for the ball. Not Julio. Antonio Brown complain for the ball. Now he gets 9 for $110, $115, 2 touches. He sees that because that's what he said. He said, I see what receivers do, and when they don't get the ball, they complain, and then the next week or the week after, they get the ball. So this is what I'm going to start doing. It's not about whether we win or lose. It's not whether or not I'm trying to do what's best for the team.
Yep.
I need to do what's best for Odell. And what's best for Odell is to catch these balls.
Yep.
So y'all keep talking about me when y'all mention the great receivers, because basically when you talk about receivers, you go Julio, AB. What particular order? Now Adam Thielen started to mention his name. Or Mike Evans and Michael Thomas.
Yep.
You got to go now. All of a sudden it used to be Odell was third.
Yep.
But now you mentioning other guys. Hold on, I can't fault. They gave me this.
I agree.
Why though, Skip? Eli? Why?
I'm with you. So now to the deal breaker quote that you mentioned. And I got a text yesterday from our man Michael Rappaport, who's going to be on the show later this week. He was born and raised in New York, and he said the crushing blow for Giants fans, and he's a lifelong Giants fan, was this quote that you mentioned on the ESPN interview. He was asked, "Are you truly happy in New York?" And he went off about L.A. And again, we love L.A., but we didn't get $65 million to play for the Giants, did we? And he says, obviously, I love seeing the sunshine all the time. I love being in L.A. I just like the atmosphere. You can't say that in New York after they gave you $65 million to be the leader of the football team.
That's when you go and say, look, guy, Mr. Tish, Mr. Lara.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love that you guys gave me an opportunity. But I think it would be best for you and I
agree.
If you try and move me and get whatever you can for me.
Yep.
I would prefer to be in L.A., but I don't want to be in New York.
That is correct.
But no, that's not what you did.
And
you took the money, and now all of a sudden you have buyer's
remorse. He even
remorse.
admitted, he said, I used to get butterflies before games, like in a good way, and he said, now I don't get butterflies. Like he doesn't even care about playing for the Giants. Really?
Oh,
that's the deal breaker. That's the one that's going to resonate this week.
Skip. Odell sees himself as a Drake. He sees himself as a Little Wayne.
Well, he tours with Drake.
He doesn't.
Lil Wayne was sitting next to him. Yeah.
He doesn't see himself.
It kind of emboldened Odell to speak out.
Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't see himself as a football player.
He doesn't.
I
feels
agree.
He's an entertainer.
Yes.
I agree.
Bigger. He sees
bigger.
himself.
I
Yes.
agree.
Well,
and it can't be that way.
He's got one touchdown, so I don't know if he is a football player right now. He's got a lot more to prove, and it's a bit embarrassing, to be honest. A lot of finger pointing.
No mercy.
Ezekiel Elliott was held to a season-low 54 rushing yards in last night's loss, and he was stopped on a key 3rd and 1 in overtime. Jason Garrett then decided to punt from the Texans' 42-yard line. Houston got the ball back, drove down the field for the game-winning field goal. We're joined once again by Greg Jennings. Skip.
Yes, ma'am.
Favorite discussion, for good or bad. I'm going to start with you. Should Garrett have gone for it on that 4th down play?
You know what? As a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan, I hit bottom last night with that decision. You know why I hit bottom? I couldn't work up a single ounce of mad about it. Usually, you know me, I would be out of my mind. On Twitter, I would be out of my mind with an all-caps tweet about, what is Jason Garrett thinking? Usually, Jason Garrett goes for a lot of things. He'll run fake punts. He shocks me with how he'll gamble sometimes, Coach Clapp. But in this case, I think he was seeing what I had seen, what the rest of America had been seeing for about 3 hours, right? 3.5 hours. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, have the worst offense in America. They are inept on offense. Their play caller is inept. So I just sat back, lifeless, and thought, I can't blame him for punting here because I don't think they can get 1.5 yards. And that's about what it was, 1.5 yards. I don't think Scott Linehan can dial up a play that will make me say, wow, I hadn't thought of that. That tricked him. I don't think he could do anything but give it to Zeke again, right up the gut, and he would get stuffed after about 1/2 yard because he had just lost 1/2 yard on the previous 3rd down play. So all I know is that I had just had to watch near the end of regulation my Cowboys create 2 big splash plays in that game. The first one was a escape bomb. I don't even know how he did it. Thrown across his body, Dak Prescott threw it to Tavon. Was it a pass and a prayer? It probably was, but Tavon caught it, and all of a sudden they're in business, 1st and 10 at the 31, and I think, here we go. And we went backwards. And we managed to get a 48-yard field goal out of it, but then Tavon comes to life again with a 22-yard punt return. And we're back in business, 1st and 10 at our 45-yard line. Let's get a field goal out of this. And we go backwards. with some of the most inexplicable play calling I can ever remember. So obviously Houston took Zeke away because he was 20 carries for a grand total of 54 yards. He couldn't get loose on any sort of swing pass or really much downfield at all. So he wasn't a factor in the passing game. They have nobody who can separate. So Houston is sending 4, 5, 6, 7 people in run blitzes. That's what they were mounted to, just run blitzes, because the corners and safeties are saying, well, we can cover man because they don't have anybody can run by us. So in the end, I'm thinking, I got a top 5 defense that is playing its you-know-what off. It is playing its, and all of a sudden, Jalen Smith is turning into a star. And the
Sean Lee not getting that job, man.
The tackling Dutchman, is that what you call him?
Tackling
Van Der Esch?
Yep.
He can run a little bit. He can hit a little bit. And I'm saying, Awuzie and, hey, Byron Jones, he played his tail off against DeAndre Hopkins, and it was a one-play game for Houston, and finally DeAndre got loose. I don't know how they got him man-to-man on Anthony Brown. He's their weakest corner, but he got loose and made the one play because they got a DeAndre, and we don't have a DeAndre. So if I had been Coach Clapp at that point, would I have gone for it? I probably would have, but I would have called the play. I would have called a zone read with Dak pulling it back and taking off left tackle when those ends crashed down to stop Zeke in the middle. And I would have called the play that would have gotten 5 yards, and we would have been back in business again.
Do not blame Jason Garrett. If you want to blame Jason Garrett for anything, blame him for that dumb challenge.
Oh, my God.
I don't think it was that dumb.
The guy dropped the ball as soon as he hit the dirt.
Day. It's a new rule.
No, it's
a
not.
new rule.
Skip.
Did he not control the football?
No.
He controlled. Did he get 2 feet down? Yes, he
Yeah,
did.
but you can't hit the ground and the ball pops out.
I thought we were beyond you have to control it to
I
the
agree
ground.
with you on that, because I'm thinking if you were the opposing team, you would be like, you wouldn't even dare challenge. Like, you would know
What are you
that's
challenging?
complete.
That's my best play as a challenge. That's all I got.
No, but
Seriously.
I'm not blaming him. I do agree with you. I think he just saw Zeke lose 1.5 yards to a yard. He had more confidence, but I'm trying to figure out, for the life of me, we've been on air now 6:30, so an hour and 19 minutes, and you have yet to blame Dak Prescott for anything. And I'm just
I thought he
waiting here.
played pretty well under the circumstance.
For real,
How much
Skip.
time did he have to throw?
Whoa, you just said it, Deshaun Watson. How
You know
much
what?
time did he have to throw?
Hey, he had a lot. He had way too much time. There were half the time I would sit back there and say, when are they going to touch Deshaun?
I thought Deshaun Watson was at the doctor's office. Every time I see him on the sideline, they got a stethoscope to him. I was like, what's going on?
Well, I can't help it if he's brittle. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's brittle. He's
No,
brittle
where
now.
he took his punishment was trying to run for touchdowns,
Skip,
right?
he had more confidence in his defense than his offense. But that should tell you something, because I saw a guy up in Seattle in Sean McVay watch Todd Gurley get stopped on a 3rd and 1, and he says, you know what I'm going to do? I have the utmost confidence
They're
in my
playing
quarter-"
with house money. They're on a roll. What do you expect
No,
from the
no, Skip,
Rams?
no roll.
They got
No,
the
no.
best offense in football. What do you expect they're
Whoa,
going to do?
You got the best offensive line
That's
in
an easy
football.
call.
You
I
got-
do not. They don't play like
You got
it.
the best offensive line in football.
Where's Travis Frederick on IR?
Whoa, you told me that when they didn't put Travis Frederick on IR,
they thought so, too.
he's going to be back sooner than
8
later.
8 games, and now forget about that.
What did Stink tell you? He went through that.
He
Stink
did.
told you it took you like 18 months
He
to
was
come
correct,
back.
Marcus Lara. He did.
Look, this is simple. Jason Garrett made the correct decision.
Correct.
He made the correct decision not to go for it. When you're in the midst of a game, as a coach, as a player, you know who's playing. If we're playing basketball and I know who had the hot hand, I'm gonna go to that person.
Beat him.
But offensively, they did not have it going. Defensively, however, I can trust my defense right now because they've been reliable all game. They've been getting it done all game. But into you talk about Dak Prescott, and I've been critical of Dak Prescott. I thought Dak played a good game. I thought he played well enough to where they could have won. His receivers let him down yesterday. His receivers let him down. His offensive line let him down. I saw him making plays that, I mean, shoot, what else can you ask for him to do?
To win.
But in that decision, in that moment, if I'm the head coach and I'm gauging my offense versus my defense, it's a no-brainer. Their defense was playing with all the momentum, lights out. They felt like we can stop these guys anytime. As a coach, you see that and you go with what you believe in, what you
pin 'em
feel.
down. Punt the ball, pin 'em down.
And it's a game of inches,
By the
a
way,
game of
the
field position.
punt went to the 10-yard line.
Right. Yes.
That'll work, right?
Yes, and you if you have to lose, yes, a play that DeAndre Hopkins made, It doesn't happen
players
every
make
single
plays.
Players make you're
Okay,
still
in
playing
2020 hindsight, now that I know he got loose for 49 yards, would I go for it? Yeah, I'd go for it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you can't call a game thinking about what happened. You got to call a game in the moment knowing that, man, my defense has been outstanding. Look how many times they had – because this game really, Skip, the Texans should have won this game by 20 points. They
That's
should have won
wrong. I think Dallas should have won by 7.
Skip, they got stopped with goal to go on 3-4 different occasions.
That's a credit to the
That's
defense.
what I'm saying.
And so for me, when I look at that, and I'm Jason Garrett, it's a no-brainer that I'm putting my defense out there because my trust lies in my defense right now.
And now what? Well, hold on.
Not in Dak, not in Zeke.
Whoa. Skip Bayless been telling me since 2016 that this guy here he played the greatest rookie season at quarterback.
Do you disagree?
It's not your turn. I'm talking to Greg. He tells me all the time. Now, all of a sudden, coach can't even trust the guy to make a play, get 1 yard.
The thing is, if they go for it and they don't get it,
we're going to kill him.
Yes, because our defense is playing too good for us to even go for it.
Kill him, yes.
Well, guess who did kill him in the locker room after the game? The general manager and owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. For the first time I can ever remember, he criticized his son, Jason Garrett, and the quote was, "We should have risked at that particular time." So the owner disagrees with us, and I'm just thinking...
And it doesn't work out. Guess what they're going to say? What a dumb call by Jason Garrett while Jerry Jones is upstairs. And I bet you he wouldn't have said that then. I bet you he wouldn't have said, I agree with Jason Garrett's decision. Now, because he didn't go for it,
and you saw the outcome.
Yes, exactly.
That is probably true. Once upon a time, Jerry Jones made his fortune plunging, right? And he used to be the ultimate plunger as the owner of the football team.
What you tell me now?
He doesn't plunge anymore.
Exactly. He lost his guts to plunge.
He is resting on his laurels in the Hall of Fame, right? I don't know.
Oh, well, the Cowboys may have lost, but you know who won?
Who they play next
week?
week?
The Browns. Oh, next week they have...
Who they play, Skip? I know you know.
The
Cowboys.
Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
I got this. Here we go.
Blake.
Here we go. You work for Blake?
Come on, Blake.
You like Blake?
What about their defense? You have no
yeah.
concerns after what you just saw this weekend.
My defense?
No, Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville's?
Where they play at?
At Dallas. We got this. We
talk about it, dude.
We used to be a great road team, and now we've turned into nothing but a home team. I don't get it.
Jason Garrett's a better road coach than a home coach.
I don't know. He didn't used to be. I don't know. Who knows?
We got all week to talk about
Get that
this
thing
one.
down to 8.
You get your
get
bets
that thing
ready.
down to
Thank
8.
you for being here, Greg.
No mercy.
Yesterday, the Browns did something they haven't done since 2015. They won a game on a Sunday. Baker Mayfield threw for 342 yards, had a key 39-yard pass on third down in overtime that helped set up the game-winning field goal. It was his first win as a starter, and Cleveland is now 2-2-1. Take a listen to Baker after the game.
We have a team right now that's starting to believe in themselves, and rightfully so. So I take a lot of pride in the culture change and being positive, always moving forward and doing your job no matter what the situation is. That was big for us.
Skip, how impressive was your guy Baker?
Baker Mayfield was extraordinary yesterday against the most experienced secondary in the National Football League, the wiliest defense in the National Football League, one that eats rookie quarterbacks for breakfast and lunch and dinner. And that's what they thought, I believe, that they could do to Baker Mayfield yesterday, especially after the early interception that he threw, a not on the same page interception with his favorite target. Rashard Higgins went one way, Baker threw it the other, early interception. But then, as Hugh Jackson told Baker in front of the team after the game, you do not flinch. And Baker Mayfield did not flinch because pretty soon, next possession, it got to be 3rd and 16 at the Cleveland 19-yard line. And what did he do, Mr. Sharpe? He hit Rashard Higgins for 21 yards. If we could see that play, this is a big-time NFL throw. Mm-hmm. This is the one where maybe Wink Martindale starts, look at that, zing. That's where maybe Wink Martindale wasn't experimenting with hyperbole when he told his team that Baker Mayfield is this generation's Brett Favre or John Elway. That's probably a little much on the John Elway, but the Brett Favre, he might be getting in the ballpark, especially in throws like that. Would you believe that yesterday, against the Baltimore Ravens secondary, Baker Mayfield completed 8 of 14 passes on third down? 8 of 14? And he converted the one we just saw. That was 3rd and 16 with a 21-yarder. And he converted a 3rd and 10 with a 26-yarder and a 3rd and 2 with a 17-yarder. And finally, if we could see the play of the game, the one that won the game, on 3rd and 8, after he had lost his favorite target, Rashard Higgins, to a knee injury, he completed one to some kid, Derek Willis, undrafted out of Texas Tech, a rookie. Derek Willis, he completes one to him for 39 yards to basically set up the winning field goal to win the football game. And you want to talk about degree of difficulty? Check this out. Only one time did Baker Mayfield start inside Baltimore's territory. That was after a fumble that his Cleveland defense forced. But if you take that one away, his starting field position on 15 other possessions was the 17-yard line. So Baker Mayfield started, these are some of his possessions. He started his own 9, 5, 3, 10, 14, 14, and 16. That's on 15 drives. 7 of them started inside the 20-yard line. That's when rookie quarterbacks come all apart. And Baker Mayfield hung right in there. He had no more turnovers the rest of the game after the early, not on the same page, interception. And I sat back and said, they just beat the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm going to say it one more time. If Baker Mayfield had started from the start this year, if Hugh Jackson had started in game 1, this team would be 5-0. That would be if the refs and the replay officials didn't steal the game from them in Oakland, because clearly they won that game in regulation in Oakland. And finally, the NFL actually admitted one of the blunders that the refs made. The fumble was, and then obviously the mark on the 4th down.
Well, they doubled down on the mark. They said they got the mark correct, but they did oversight. They should have been a fumble.
So, but anyway, they should have won that game because they scooped up the fumble, and they would have scored with it, and they would have won the football game. So Baker Mayfield would now be 5-0, including a huge win over division rival Baltimore. And my bottom line is, I keep telling you, this kid is something.
Can we just deal with what we have? Can we just talk about this game, not what would have happened or what could have or should have happened? I'm going to give you credit. Today, I'm going to let you have your moment in the Baker Mayfield son. He played well yesterday. He cut down on the turnovers. He had 1 turnover. Okay, he's a rookie. That's going to happen from time to time. But I thought he put together a nice drive, especially in overtime. They had him backed up. They got him to 3rd down. And in overtime, that's really all you can hope for. Get him to 3rd down, get off the field, give your team the ball back with a chance to win the ball game. And Baker Mayfield put the drive. Well, the first drive, they got the ball in overtime to begin with. They didn't do anything. Give the Cleveland's defense credit because they didn't let Joe Flacco do anything.
Did not.
So they give him the ball back, and now he put together a nice drive. The throw, the touchdown throw to Higgins, Skip, I thought that was a really great throw.
Good throw.
Because that's incredible anticipation. And a lot of times when you're a smaller guy, you have to rely a lot on anticipation, especially if you don't have the strongest arm. The difference is, and I tell people this, and it's hard to explain, a lot of winning is believing that you can win. I believe that Baker's teammates believe that Baker gives them a better chance to win than Tyrod. And that's all that matters. Is he a better quarterback? Yes. But whether or not he was a better quarterback, Skip, they believe. You look at the way they play. You look at the energy. You look at the feel that they have when he comes in the game. The crowd is electric. The guys on the sideline, they're standing like, what is he going to do next? That's contagious. And I'm sorry, Tyrod, that it didn't go well for you, but they just believe in this kid. And this kid had, and Dion, I was talking about it last night on the network. You can't define it. You can't write it down like, but it's it. He has
contagious charisma. Jenny Taft has been there and done that and experienced it firsthand. Contagious charisma.
I just remember being in the huddle with John Elway when I was in Denver, Skip. And he's young, but I just believe no matter what the situation, 3rd and 19, John gonna make a play. We're gonna get this first down.
I
we
got
behind.
it. But John didn't exude that sort of moxie quality, that sort of high energy. John was 6'3",
225.
25. I mean, he was just a stud athlete who was going to make stud plays.
Yet to see the thing is with him is that John had already built that resume.
Yep.
See, this kid doesn't have a resume. Now there will come a time that he will not have to be rah-rah jumping all around the head, but that might be his personality, a la Tom Brady.
Yep.
Tom Brady in year 19 is still headbutting Gronk. He's still headbutting Julian Edelman. So that might be Baker's calling card. Eventually, his resume will carry him, and so he won't have to be as rah-rah, come on, give these pep talks, although that's fine. If that's what he is, so be it. I'm going to give him credit. At first, we wanted to give him a letter grade. I was going to give him a B+, and the only reason I wouldn't give him an A, Skip, because of turnover. You know, I can't give you 100 if you get one question on the test wrong. But he played well. 342 in that situation. Go to overtime, 1 and out. I mean, you get to a situation where you have the ball first. So now you punt the ball away. Now if they get in field goal range, kick a field goal, you lose the game. Give the Browns defense credit. But I thought Baker played well. He showed me something yesterday. This is something they can build on. They're gonna. Do I think they are? We'll talk about that later. They might cause some people some concerns.
They will.
But I think because of their inexperience, I think that will be the only thing that could, because I think they're a talented football team. They got guys that can make plays offensively, but Greg Williams has that defense flying around.
Finally, they were not flying at Oakland when they gave up 565 yards and what was it, 40? Was it? I'm confusing it with the OU game, 48 to 45.
Yeah, they gave up 40 plus.
Well, and yet yesterday they re-locked in, they refocused, they came to play yesterday against a Baltimore team. I remind you, Ravens were on a roll. Flacco was playing at a high level.
They had just gone to Pittsburgh and just cooked
Just
the Steelers.
destroyed them. And almost left them for dead, although we both thought that they would rally against Atlanta because Atlanta is so decimated on defense.
Yes.
So Pittsburgh bounced back, but the Ravens were not able to continue to maintain their momentum at Cleveland. And I think Cleveland is a dangerous team in this division. I'm not going to say they're going to win it, but with Baker Mayfield, anything is now possible for this team because it believes anything is possible.
Well, they're the team with the least amount of experience. And I think that might be the thing that ultimately be their undoing, Skip. Because if you look at these other teams, they are very veteran ball clubs at the quarterback position, at the coaching position. Now, Hugh's been a coach, but all these guys have been there for a substantial amount of time. If you think about it, Marvin's been there, 15, 16 years? John Harbaugh, like 9 or 10. And Mike Tomlin's been there 11 or 12. So I think the inexperience might catch up with them, but they're not going to be an easy out. Don't think you going to Cleveland or they're coming to your building, you're like, oh, these are the same Browns from 1 and 15, 0 and 16. They're not the same Browns.
So after Hugh Jackson refused to let Baker Mayfield even compete for the job during camp and flat out gave the job to Tyrod to start game 1 and
he
game 2.
He did beat out Drew Stanton. That's something. That's
a second string, and it was announced. He got he brought him in and said, "I congratulate you. You're my second string." Really? So after all that, Baker Mayfield is now saving Hugh's job. That's what's happening before your very eyes.
He's saving his job too. Because how foolish had he go out there and lay an egg? How foolish would they have looked taking him with the first pick and he laying eggs? So he's saving himself also.
Did he lay any eggs? I
No.
haven't seen him lay any. I think John Dorsey looks pretty genius.
He does.
For both Baker and Denzel Ward, who's playing at a high level.
Well, Baltimore is about to maybe do a fatal blow, and Flacco throws an interception on the 1 yard line.
All right.
That changes the whole complexion of that ball game.
But
I give them credit for
where
that.
we disagree is you say Baker's challenged with his arm. He has a whip of an arm. It's underestimated and underrated. The ball is leaving quickly and getting there quicker than you think it is. Okay. That's why he was able to do that against Baltimore. And Jenny, I think we just heard Shannon Sharpe back off and say that he was wrong about Baker Mayfield. I believe that's what I just heard.
Hold on, Skip. Skip,
did you hear that?
Skip, he started 2 games. He started 2 games. Remember how you were on Dak? That first year, he won 13 games and you put him in the Hall of Fame.
I didn't put him in the Hall of Fame. I just said he played the greatest starting rookie quarterback season that's ever been played. No one's ever done that
Has
before.
he been close to that since?
Well, has the team deteriorated around him? Has it?
No.
Did Dez go south last year and lead the league in drops? Yes, he did.
But and now you asking for Dez to come back.
Yeah. Did Witten retire and go
I
to
would
the
hear you
booth?
say,
Yep,
you
he
want
did.
Dez back?
I told you, what did I say last week? I'm getting that desperate. Then Jerry said, nope, we're not going to do that. What is Jerry going to do? He doesn't do anything except sit back and watch, right?
Nothing.
Well, he's fiddling while Rome burns, right?
What you want him to do, Skip?
That's what he's doing.
What would you have him to do right now?
Well,
Who's
I don't
out there
know.
on the street that's going to help them at the receiver position?
He could fire his coordinator. That might shake things up. I don't know.
But you still left with the same pieces at wide receiver. I'm trying to figure out what is he going to do with those wide receivers that could help.
I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that. Except my guy Bryce Butler, he suited up yesterday and stood on the sidelines and played none. He was Dak's favorite target last year. He's their only deep threat. Why not?
Well, Dak hit him a couple of times. You see him throw the balls out of bounds?
Was that it? Yeah. And he made a couple of good catches over there on the sideline. Yeah.
Throwing the ball to Tavon Austin. I tried to tell you, Skip. Oh, Tavon, he's really doing. I said, Skip, he's a gadget guy. Oh, no, that's not what they're telling me.
He made their two most explosive plays of the night last night. A punt return and a deep ball.
Skip, if you're going to have Dak get out of 3 sacks, roll to his left, throw across his body.
That's about all we got.
Okay.
That's it. It's going to come down to that. And you got to stay close enough. It's got to be 16-16 so that play wins the game, right? Way to go.
No mercy. Last week, Aaron Rodgers complained about the Packers' offensive struggles, and the results didn't change yesterday. Rodgers fumbled twice. They were shut out in the first half. Mason Crosby didn't help either, missing a career-high 4 field goals and an extra point in the loss at Detroit. Take a listen to Rodgers after the game.
That's frustrating. We've been kind of a one-half team, one good half and one not-so-good half. I was a little off. I missed a couple I usually hit. If I hit Devontae on that first drive, he might score. On a crossing route, they dropped him. I gave him 10. We missed field goals, obviously, and had a turnover on the 1-yard line. You put all that together, that's a lot of points we gave them. I got to play better the first half. Second half got in the groove, but myself and our offense got to put together a full game one of these days.
We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Well, Aaron Rodgers did say he was a little off, but Skip,
Yes.
how much of this is...
Thank you, Jenny, for allowing me to go first
welcome.
on this one. The main reason the Green Bay Packers are now 2-2-1 is that Aaron Rodgers is not playing like the best player on the planet, according to you, and I think you're somewhere in that ballpark also, but I have to hear this day after day. He's the greatest quarterback in football, not Tom Brady, but Aaron Rodgers, and he is not playing that way right now. Through 5 games, Aaron Rodgers' QBR, I love me some QBR, is only 53 through the 5 games. And that's on a scale of 0 to 100, so it's just slightly above average, and it's below the QBRs of Blake Bortles, Joe Flacco, and Eli Manning. Is that good, Shannon? That's not very good. And by Aaron Rodgers standards, I'm going to go so far as to say that's just sorry, given that you think he's the best quarterback in the game. So yesterday, Aaron Rodgers was careless with the football twice in the first half. He got strip sacked twice. He gave Detroit the ball at his 23 and his 29-yard line. That resulted in 10 points that contributed heavily to the halftime deficit of 24-0, which is the worst halftime deficit of Aaron Rodgers' career. Now, he also readily admitted, as we just heard, that he missed Devontae on a wide-open crossing route early in the game, in the first series of the game, that probably would have gone for a touchdown. And it wasn't that he missed him with the throw. He just, I don't know why, he saw him and just decided not to go there, and he second-guessed himself after the game. So the best quarterback in football set a terrible tone, especially in the first half of a game that turned into a disaster, and it was a division road game that came a few days after he had thrown his coach under the bus for his play calling the previous week. And obviously, I'll be the first to admit that the same Mason Crossbar who kicked my Cowboys out of the playoffs 2 years ago with 2 hand-of-God field goals from 51 and 56 yards at the end of that game, inexplicably went south yesterday and missed 4 of 5 field goals and also missed an extra point. And I'll be the first to admit that Green Bay's punt return team botched a punt return that gave Detroit the ball at the 1-yard line and just a walk-in touchdown. So that contributed. But in the end, Green Bay is not Green Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers is no longer Aaron Rodgers. Does he have some sort of knee? Well, as you always tell me, he's playing on whatever it is, sprained or whatever, and he's still wearing his brace. But he bounced back in the second half and at times looked like Aaron Rodgers. But in the end, they're 2-2-1, and I don't think Aaron's going to be saying on his radio show tonight or whenever it is, RELAX. Not this time.
He probably had him a scotch and he'll be just fine. I love the fact that he says, look, I turned the ball over twice, and that led to 10 points. I gave them 10 points. Now, I'm going to excuse Mason Crosby's 56-yard miss. I mean, we're asking guy to make, even though he's indoors, he has that kind of leg. I think his career long is 58. But those other three, that 42, 41, 38, and the missed PAT, that's 10 points. That's more than enough to win the ball game. The thing about Aaron Rodgers, the first thing he said, I got to play better. He said, we got to put together more than one half. We didn't play well in the first half. I got a rhythm in the second half. We played well. I got to do a better job of protecting the football. We missed some field goals. We gave him one. He touched on some of everything. You notice the difference, Skip? He didn't say, they did this and they did that. I turned the ball over. I need to play better.
For once, he didn't say we need to call better plays.
No, don't worry about that, Skip. You had your turn. You could have put that in there. This is my turn now. So I'm saying Aaron Rodgers is doing right. This is why you have to be very mindful of throwing people under the bus and calling people out. Because guess what happens? It normally happens this way. You call somebody out, you go out there, lay an egg. Well, he didn't really lay an egg. He threw for 342, but he had 2 turnovers. And he wasn't sharp as he was, because I looked up one time and I'm like, dang, Aaron, you already done missed 10 throws? He normally goes the whole game and maybe missed 10 throws. Now he's at the first, he's like, first 15 minutes in the ball game and he's missed 10 throws. So he wasn't sharp. But Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the reason why they continue to falter. The defense just do their, because here's the thing now, Skip, he turned the ball over. But the defense get paid just because the offense turns the ball over. That doesn't mean you got to let them score. You can keep them out of the end zone if you so desire, because that's what you get paid to do.
They kept Buffalo out of the end zone. Well, they did. It's 22-0.
Oh, Buffalo.
Right? Well,
Really?
Buffalo keeps winning road games. I don't know how they do it.
No, that was the home thing for them.
Yeah, but I mean, they won at Minnesota,
Yeah.
right? Fluke.
Yeah, fluke.
I don't know.
Skip.
You going to defend your old quarterback, the guy that you
Let me
made
tell you,
a Super
before
Bowl
you
winner?
keep going, I actually side more with you.
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
And here's why, Shannon. When I look at the Green Bay Packers, and I'll just go from a percentage standpoint. If I'm giving percentages, I say 60% of this loss.
Yeah.
On Mason Crosby, come on now. 40% of this, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But for me, grand scheme of things, Aaron Rodgers has to be better.
Yeah.
And it's not so much what he's doing on the field of play. It's when he comes to this. What disturbed me more than anything, we heard him blame himself and take a lot of blame, but during the game, it did not look like that. Skip, it did not look like that. When he's walking to the sideline and he sits on the bench, he looks disgusted. Like, woe is me, I'm in this situation again. Give me better play calling. Guys, make some plays. It doesn't look like I need to play better.
Right.
I didn't see an Aaron Rodgers that leads his team, and you said it, set the tone.
Yep.
He sets the tone. If he comes to the sideline and he pulls us together and he says, guys, regardless about the play call, this is what we got to work with. Let's go. Did I see that yesterday?
No.
Absolutely not. Now, they do struggle at Ford Field, and they have in the past. But Aaron Rodgers sets the tone, Skip. You said it, and when you said it, I wrote it down because that is exactly 100% accurate. He sets the tone for that team. Mason Crosby, pending the energy that his offense has, I don't know if he missed those kicks. Now, he missed them. And to your point, he cannot miss those kicks. He is too good of a field goal kicker to miss not just one, not just two, not just three, but four.
That was the first time since 1980.
Like
a field goal kicker's had that kind of
raw
You cannot have that.
And by the way, he was 10 of 11 coming in.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
And the one he missed cost him the game against Minnesota.
It really, and
52
you saw Mike McCarthy doing everything he possibly could to give him some confidence.
Yeah.
Like a series where we thought they're going to go for it. Nope, let's let Mason come out here and kick a field goal right before the end of the game. You know you're going to lose, but let's give him some something to go into next week.
And he made it.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers comes out and he consoles him. My issue was not with the way Aaron performed. He did have 2 turnovers. Whatever, I'll take that. But your demeanor, your disposition during the game, it sets the vibe, it sets the tone to everyone. Your play caller is more confident. You make those throws. You come off the sideline. You fire your guys up. You say, guys, this is what we have to work with. Let's get it done, because this is what you've had to work with all year, last year, all these years, and you've been able to overcome it.
And what makes the Packers so good, Skip and Greg, you know this. If my defense struggles, what's the one thing I can't do? Turn the ball over.
Can't do it.
So if they can't stop them from driving 80 yards and getting touchdowns, what's the likelihood of them stopping them from going 28, 29 yards?
So, Greg Jennings, you played a lot of football with Aaron Rodgers, and you won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. You actually made the catch of the game in that Super Bowl. You have brought up on this show before that you have experienced some occasional negative energy and finger pointing from Aaron Rodgers. Is that what you experienced yesterday?
I didn't experience the finger pointing. I mean, he owned, and here's my issue has always been, if you're gonna own it, just own it. Just own it. And he owned it, but he didn't own it in totality, because during the game,
he don't own it in the moment.
That's what bothers me. It's in the moment. Like, because when you're watching the game as a fan, if there's no volume on, you're looking at his demeanor and you're like, man, they're letting him down again.
Right.
When, in all honesty, he was letting his team down too.
Yep.
So he wasn't stepping up to the plate and hitting. You said, when you call someone out like that, it is paramount that you come out and you are not the reason why. You eliminate yourself by your performance.
Okay.
He did not eliminate himself.
Thank you. So why do I call Aaron Rodgers the LeBron James of the National Football League?
Because he's the best player in the NBA?
Well, true. No, true. They are both supremely talented. But as a leader, you cannot let your body language show the public you are disgusted with your teammates' performance, that you don't have enough help around you, because they see it too, and then they feel inferior, and they're going to respond as inferior teammates from that point on. You got to rally the troops. You got to have positive energy. That's why Baker Mayfield has been so good so far.
Skip, you know what I didn't like this week, and it might have been the case. When he was asked about the week of preparation leading up to the game, Aaron Rodgers, with the young receivers, it wasn't so great. Didn't look so good. It wasn't.
Lie.
Yes.
You got to lie to
You
him.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Because these are young guys. They're going into the game. This is all you have to work with.
Because Cobb was out and Geronimo was out.
Yes,
So
but
you're going to be thrown to two new guys.
You got to fool them. Sometimes, Coach, it might be a situation where you're like, man, this is going to be rough. But you got to fool them.
You do.
Sometimes you got to lie to the guys and give them false hope. Oh, man, he believes in us. Man,
when you're going into the game with a quarterback that you know is not your man, if it wasn't John back there throwing to you with that 7,
gonna be we good.
We good.
We
got all the faith in the world.
Hey, make our plays, we're gonna be fine.
For Bubby, right?
Yeah.
You got to make plays for Bubby.
Like, ooh.
You love sayings around here. I feel like fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, you got to.
Just pretend.
But in a team sport, especially football, because you got so many players.
Yeah.
You got to lie. You got to lie.
They heard him. No mercy. Time for our final topic of the day. Conor McGregor made his return to the octagon Saturday, but Khabib made him submit in the 4th round to retain the UFC lightweight title. After the fight, it was pure chaos. Khabib jumped out of the octagon to go after Conor's group, causing a huge brawl. After the fight, Dana White said, quote, "The guys are in big trouble." Shannon, what was your takeaway from this? It was madness.
Yeah, the fight happened exactly how I thought it would. I thought Conor would have to get him out of there early, and if Khabib could make him miss early, drag him to the deep in the later rounds, make him submit, as I thought he would do. But at some point in time, Skip, and we talked about him a lot, especially the build-up to the Mayweather fight, that Conor steps over the line sometimes.
He does.
And he stepped over the line with this man. This man valued his religion and his parents as some people take other things. And Conor stepped over the line. And So Khabib was dead wrong for him. They're probably going to hold up 10% of his purse. They might suspend him. Now, they didn't suspend Conor when he did what he did, throwing that dolly through the bus. Skip, you remember when he fought, he jumped out of the ring and confronted Jose Aldo.
He did.
He threw the bottles at Nate Diaz.
He did.
So Conor McGregor's not without fault here. But old Khabib, oh man, that old Russian bear, he put something on Conor. Made him call. I'm tired of paying I paid $64.95 to watch Conor McGregor say uncle. Because that's what when you tap, you say uncle. Made him say uncle again.
Why? Because Khabib is too strong of a wrestler for Conor McGregor. And the shock to me was in the third round, Khabib said, I'll just stand here in the middle and I'll trade punches with you.
Right.
Let's just box a little bit. And did Conor take any pound of flesh? Did he hurt him at all?
No.
He couldn't hurt him.
Took the steam out of him, though, Skip.
Yeah. And once he got him on the ground, it was OVA, OVA.
Yeah.
And as Khabib said afterward, he said, the UFC has never been a trash-talking sport because it's just too hard to get in there.
Yeah.
And Conor tried to turn it into trash-talking when he goes religion, father, country.
He called a man dad a terrorist, Skip.
Yeah. I know.
He insulted the man.
Terrible.
So the man said,
I can't condemn Khabib for going over out of the
Look how
octagon.
Conor looked.
Yeah.
That hurt. I don't know, Skip. I don't know if he's going to make all 6 of these fights.
I don't either.
Don't be
I'm
like
not sure he's going to want to.
Don't be like Ronda.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.